Hello, everyone, and welcome to the stream. I'm Vikova. You can call me V, and today I am streaming Roadwarden again. Ooh, Roadwarden's updating. That's unexpected. Alright, it's all good. Play a game. Hello and welcome to Quirrell and to Zan. It is lovely to have you here today. I am eager to jump back into this story and see what happens. Zan says, my day hasn't been so bad. A bit vacuous so far, though. Ah, okay. I've I have experience with vacuous days. Okay. Who falls asleep in the forest, wakes up in a troll's mouth. Okay. Quirrell says just seeing a black screen with a floating V on it on this end. Yeah, it just takes a second to transfer across, I think. Alright, I'm going to continue. Jabal says confused small non-verbal noises. I'm playing Roadwarden again. It's Wednesday. How are you doing, Jabal? Why are you confused and small today? Okay. What was happening? Oh, we're at the plague town. Ah. Jabal says it has been an week. Oh no. Oh, Jabal, if only you could catch a break. No. Capital A. An week. Anyway, here we are we've just found our way to Los Plagos, which has lost contact with the other villages. And now we know why. It's because they have plague. Not in years, Warden. They did attack us on the road once before, but their little pack won't come here. At first her tone is gentle, but after she blinks twice it turns solemn. Or they would face our anger. Our walls fear only dragons. Our blades are made of steel. This is about the bandits, I think. Oh yeah, we don't want to ask them about spouses for tribes considering they have plague. That seems like a bad idea. Which way would you take if you were to travel to the watchtower? The northern route, most likely. There's more tribes there. But the eastern road is dangerous no matter from which way you're going to enter it. But if you care about time, she hesitates. You could check on the gate, though opening it on your own may not be easy. It used to be that our guards were keeping it open for the travellers. The last one that we sent away, Quintus, is either dead or seeking refuge in another village. Still, behind the gate you'll find the shortcut. It's a dangerous path, but your palfrey may be just fast enough to get you onto the other end. Oh, my phone needs to be made quiet. I keep forgetting that. Hang on. You ask her what she can tell you about this gatekeeper, and she gives you a warm look. He may not be the sharpest wits, but he's loyal to his duty and returns kindness with kindness like we all should. Okay. Well, it looks like there's nothing else for me to do here right now. Quirrell says, hi, I found the perfect match for you. They're dying of plague, though. Yeah, very much that. Okay, let's have a look at what we can do. What time is it? 4 hours until dusk? Okay, so we haven't got very long to get anywhere. We have found out what is going on at Old Pagos. We can't get to Foggy Lake before nightfall. We can get to Howler's Dell. Let's travel up a little bit and then travel back. It'll probably be fine, right? It'll probably be fine. You ascend a gentle hill with green thickets coating the valleys. The path is like an endless bridge built by the ancient three-legged giants, or maybe by the pagan spellcasters. The higher you get, the fewer plants you see. Hit by a cold wind, you adjust your cloak. I ride slowly, sitting in the center of the saddle. Mountains are harsh for horses. Okay. Ooh, interesting. That's the symbol of the United Church, right? You approach the raised drawbridge and observe the face of the mountain. The hooks holding the hourglass are as large as a person, displaying the devotion to the right proudly. It took tremendous wealth and labor. What a waste of steel. I wonder who's responsible for polishing it. The temples in the city are even grander. I mean, I feel like it must have taken tremendous wealth and labor. It is a waste of steel, and I do wonder who's responsible for polishing it. Oh my gosh. Coral says, I'm thinking this plague is probably what happened to the dead village you found ages ago. The dead village I found ages ago had a curse on it that made me sick just to go near it and look at it. So I think something else was going on there. I've recently revisited that because obviously I was replaying through the game, and I think that village, there was a magic on that village. Jabal says, yes, if the hot singles in your area have a body temperature above safe non-fever levels, they may in fact be too hot. I wonder who's responsible for polishing it. The rustling of leaves carries no songs of birds, shouts of apes, or whines of hunted critters. The river attacks its bank with a fierce roar. You get off your palfrey. The cave mouths are connected by paths, stairs, and bridges. You don't see any people, but there's smoke coming from one of the entrances, and you hear muffled thuds of a hammer. The gardens are weeded, the buildings firm. The green trees on the top of the mountain bear red and brown fruits. 2 rounded sticks are tied with a rope to a nearby rock. You grab them and take a closer look. They're claves. Claves? Can anyone enlighten me? Friendly. 2 rounded sticks. Tied with a rope to a nearby rock. I'm supposed to hit the rock. Like, it's like a drumstick situation, I guess. I'm not familiar with the term clave. Friendly is I make a few firm hits and shout a greeting at anyone who shows up near the building. Playful is I play a tune from a silly counting out rhyme. That's fun. Distance is I make a few firm hits then wait patiently. Intimidating is I keep hitting them until someone lowers the bridge. Just sounds petulant. Vulnerable says I hit them just 3 times, not too loud. I guess I'll be friendly. I like to be friendly. Jabal says claves are percussion instruments, basically. Oh, okay. Lovely. Or else is from the dictionary, one of a pair of cylindrical hardwood sticks beaten together as a percussion instrument. Well, thank you. I've learned something new today. I make a few firm hits and shout a greeting at anyone who shows up near the building. The echo of your hits cuts through the swashing stream. After a few minutes, 2 hooded figures leave a cave mouth at the top of the mountain and give you a long look from the edge of the cliff, then walk down the path with caution. I'm excited! Okay. You smile and wave to them before they disappear behind the buildings, which are made of bricks, not logs, and are covered with tiles instead of thatch. Little by little, the bridge gets closer. Then it hits the grass gently. The taller figure, now covered with shadows, invites you with a gesture. I'm sorry, are these not actually, like, humans? These hooded figures covered in shadows? I'm so curious. I lead Shadowfax inside. Greetings! And greetings to you, he hesitates. His voice is hoarse, but sonorous. Salutations to thou, traveller. He puts his bandaged hand on his waist. You're at the Wright's Haven. The Wright's Haven? Oh, they aren't gonna like me. This is such a cool location, though. It looks like a Minecraft build. You know, it's just really beautiful and creative. The greeters take off their hoods. They wear brown, dark, simple, worn robes and ropes instead of belts. They've no jewelry or ornaments, just small bags made of fabric on their shoulders. The larger shell belongs to a strong, barefoot man in his 50s. Despite having no weapon, his eyes are audacious. His eyes are audacious? And could belong to a muscle standing in the door of a harbour tavern. His wrinkles are subtle, but there are only a few tufts of grey hair left on his greasy head. His skin is pale, covered with liver spots, though at a closer look you realize a few of them are just stains left by ink. Interesting. Jabal says I never really worked this place out in my Roadwarden playthrough. I did come here, but never got to the bottom of working out what their deal was. Yeah, what is that deal? I look at the second monk. The girl is about 14 with unsightly acne on her forehead. Let's not be cruel. Says person who had very bad acne as a teenager. And a robe that brushes the ground whenever she takes a step. Her black hair is tied into a humble ponytail. She observes your horse curiously, cocking her head to a side, but when she catches your look, she meets your eyes boldly, raising her chin as if to challenge you. Thy mount is free to help itself with hay and water. We'll wait outside. Thou canst stay here for now, but leave before the night. The plague is nearby, the struggle ahead. While they indeed leave the room, their trust only goes so far. They observe you through the open door. The building is a single store room, filled with crates and barrels, a stack of firewood and another one of bricks, a pile of straw, a chest, 2 wheelbarrows, and finally the racks, shelves, tools, clothing, and utensils. The light comes from the open gates, accompanied by the sharp draft. I tether Shadowfax near the water trough and join the monks. Interesting. Okay. The lack of walls makes you feel exposed. A few pairs of eyes observe you from the pass above you, while others either climb to the very top or approach the unremarkable vegetable beds. Most of the dwellers wear hoods, and all of them wear similar worn robes. A chilling wind touches your neck. I'm not afraid of some wind, or I put on my hood. I'll just put on my hood. I'm a little afraid of some wind. I don't want to be cold just to, look tough. They keep their distance. The man greets you by raising his open palm, wrapped with bandages that disappear underneath his sleeve. Why are they so bandaged up? What is happening? Calmly enveloped, hello! Calmly says, huzzah, I am in! You're in! His lips form something between a sneer and a smile. What brings thee here? Art thou a go-between? The girl keeps an eye on your axe and occasionally glances at your boot, the one that hides a knife. I'm Strider, the new Roadwarden. I'm here to make friends. Jabal says the phrase, I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious, springs to mind. Good, well, the road needs their wardens, the folk need their roads, but there are none behind this mountain, and we take care of the one that you've just crossed. Thou dost not need to bother. Thy services are not required. He gestures for you to wait. But where's the man with the red beard? There isn't enough work here for the two of you. Asterion, I was hoping to find him here. I'm sorry to disappoint thee. He rubs a liver spot on his hand. But he hasn't been here in months. We rarely have visitors different than our old friends from Old Pecos. We don't invite the outside world, and we don't care much for it. Hast thou checked in Pelt of the North on the southern road? If he's wounded, it's a safe shelter, I've heard. The girl scratches the ground with her boot, though it remains hidden underneath her robe. The man looks at her with amusement. Looks like Decima here is eager to return to her duties. I'm Ailey, but I'll not shake thy hand. One of us could carry the plague in our flesh. Who can know? Who can tell? What brings thee to our monastery? Okay, so there might be plague here too. Alright, cool. Zan says, personally, I'm substitious. Quirrell says, having seen the outside world, I don't blame them. Yeah. Is there nothing you can do about the plague that has beset Old Pecos? Well, his cough doesn't help his hoarse throat. We don't understand what makes it grow. We put to use all the ingredients we found, brewed as many potions and balms as we could, and they worked, for one afternoon. Then people once again fell ill. Who can tell where the sickness dwells? A powerful healer could get rid of it once and for all with a single spell, but no follower of the Rite in the North carries such talents. Maybe it's time for someone to enter the village and look for the source? I think that's a bad idea. I guess I'll seek for a great healer, yeah. He rubs his hands together, pressing a thumb against his palm and looking at the sky. Such as The druids, the necromancers, the golem maker. Dangerous souls with no reason to help us. I don't think that's true. I'm not going to ask you about Phoebe and the Spirit Rock. I think the Spirit Rock is the best thing to do. I trust the Enchantress. Quirrell says, oh, substition. The little things that no one believes but are true anyway. I like that. What can you tell me about Asterion? Let me think. He looks at the sky and clenches his fist around the strap of his bag. The first time he was here, we asked him to find us some iron in Gale Rocks. The second time, he did bring us a few scraps, but was wounded. A piece of flesh bitten away from his thigh. Said that a 100-legged worm had caught him off guard in a meadow. Instead of his pay, we offered him a potion. Anything noteworthy about the iron he delivered? Scavenged from furniture. A few of them were rusty. Who knows where he bought them? We melted them for nails. Okay, thanks. I'm looking for a few hunters from creeks. Were they here? Hunters from creeks? He mimics your voice with a hint of mockery. Not a soul from there has reached this temple inn. He rubs the back of his bandaged hand and looks at a monk who's carrying buckets of water. Well, a decade? They've got enough hunting grounds. The heart of the woods, the watchtower, the northern hills. Do you know anything interesting about the path leading through the heart of the woods? I used to, but like all places that belong to beasts, it shifts every year. The only reason why it still has trails at all is that creatures use our roads as their own game trails. Only a dimwit would try to cross it now. After you ask him if he knows any such person, he takes a deep breath. Well, last I've heard, Quintus, the gatekeeper from Old Pagos, is missing or dead. He's a brute and an idiot, can't understand jokes, can't stand weaklings. If thou, ever meet him, just smile and let him speak as much as he needs to shut up. Is Quintus in White Marshes? Is Quintus the person who doesn't like us in White Marshes? I feel like that might be correct. You don't think so? Okay. Oh, thank you for banning a bot, Comley. They're not going to let me place these rods. They seem very anti. What do you know about the necromancers in the north? He rubs the liver spots on his forehead with his bandaged hand, looking with one eye at his short companion. This and that. What do you think of White Marshes? I don't think much at all. As the tribe follows Orentius, their priest, they're no longer our allies. Who knows, maybe he's the reason why so many travellers have disappeared on the roads. Decima scratches the ground with her boot, humming a tune, but Ailey tells her to shut up. He carries on with sudden anger. The story is as old as the rites tablets. Tribes look at monsters and ask themselves, how can we use them? Their pride pushes them into their own fall. They hurt the innocent, then vanish in flames or awake as empty ones. Okay, well... Do you need any help? He puts his hands together and repeatedly taps his fingers. After a few breaths, he straightens up. No. Okay, well... Okay. Why can't I spend a night here? Want us to give thee a chest and a weapon rack too? Or maybe feed thy mouflons in our gardens, or ask us to bed with thou? It's not an inn. We respect the hardships of one's journey, so we don't scare off the strangers who cross the mountains. But we don't let them wander about and take our time for granted. He looks at his bandaged hand, makes a fist, and opens it and stretches out his fingers. Maybe with old Pagos locked, our old rules too shall change. Okay. Would you like to barter? What do you have? Not today, not before the spring. Our order uses every bottle we make to help the sick from old Pagos, as well as to protect ourselves. I could bring you dragon bones or something that doesn't grow in the mountains. He looks at the steel hourglass hanging from the wall. Taste, softness, tools of murder. We shall crave naught. One thing we lack are delicacies we could offer to the sick and weak. But thou wilt not find such a thing in this sad land. Oh. Yeah, do you want a chicken? You mentioned a lack of delicacies. How about this roast chicken? Okay, no. He chuckles. I lack no such thing. But we look after a few weak souls. After sniffing the spiced meat, he gives you an approving nod. We've got a few bones we can spare. I'll pay you, thee, 2 coins for such a meal. What? This chicken cost me 3 dragons, didn't it? Or did it only cost me 2? How many chickens do I have? Only 1? Will this count as helping you? How much coin do I have? Only 4. I really need to get more coin. Surely it didn't cost me 1. Surely it didn't cost me 1 dragon. But if it counts as helping you, maybe you'll give me something to do? I'm trying to learn more about the local bandits. Then ask in the villages. He looks at the wooden entrance hall behind you. No group is going to bother us, for they've got no understanding of our pneuma and potions. Take the chicken. He gestures for Decima to take it to one of the caves and pulls out the coins from his bag. I could take another one from thee, maybe in 3-4 days. It must be increasing. It must be increasing in trust or increasing value. I don't know why you would just keep bringing them otherwise. It must be a trade operation. Calmly says, I love the stream title. Thank you! Hang on, let's do a little save. We haven't really achieved much here at the monastery. And that's the end of that path, so that's good. How much time do we have left? 4 hours. Let's travel this way a little bit. The path gets greener and meanders between treacherous precipices. You ride slowly, passing by birds and ibexes, but in the distance you spot circling harpies, and below you, a roaming mountain cat pursuing a mouflon. You take a sip from your water skin. The air here is a bit dry. Let's hope that the echo of hooves won't reach any larger beasts. The path leads you down again. Oh, I gotta go. Down again to a small, moist valley, impenetrable for a rider. The thicket is made of thorny shrubs, tall grasses, and the weak, fallen boughs that nourish mosses and mushrooms. You examine the remnants of the path covered with greenish puddles. Without the roots, and with a fresh layer of pebbles, it may still be restored. You look behind you. The road is clear, no ambushes so far. But if you hope to clear this place, it'd be better to do so soon. It'll only get denser with the passage of days. I could fix this path, okay. I'll do that soon. I can't get to Hallisdale before nightfall. I can't get anywhere. I have to seek shelter. I can't get anywhere in time. You can't sleep here, yet you have to find a safe place as soon as possible. You can find the closest shelter in Hallisdale. Yep, let's go. Going to sleep. I'll gain so much appearance from spending this. I gotta do it. I get a bath. I get food. I gain health. The shivers wake you up. You open the window and see the dense fog covering Howler's Creek, spreading like milk throughout the entire village. This is Hallisdale, for the record. You hear an amused quarrel coming from the main square and spot the dancing light of torches and lanterns, yet the village remains calm and asleep. Fogs tend to get more common in late summer, but the tribes of the Dragonwoods often see them as a bad sign. The wild spirits they carry are believed to impact both the visible and the invisible, and not in ways that help humankind. I sigh. If there are any undead in these woods, the fog will strengthen them. Okay, undead, hard to fight today. You spend the night in peace in a clean bed with a tightly shut window and a warm blanket. In the morning, you find a stool placed by your bed, covered with a bowl of oatmeal based on mouflon milk with berries, nuts, and honey. Once you get dressed and go downstairs, a young boy, who's covered in mud and speaks unusually loud and enthusiastically, mentions that Shadowfax has already been brushed and watered. You nod, but he runs outside without noticing it. The innkeeper is sitting near the door, from time to time carrying out another bowl of either stew or gruel. Thias is nowhere to be seen. Okay. Quirrell says mouflon is such a fun word. It is! And that's a word that I've learned from this game, so that's fun. Alright, we have a full day ahead of us. What am I trying to do? Quests. Have I brought the spirit rock yet? I need to go buy a spirit rock, but I need enough money. I can make a lot of money from putting up bronze rods, but I can't put up bronze rods until I help people, and I can't help people until I have enough money to help the people. Sorry. It is very frustrating. I can achieve nothing. Oh, spirit rock. Yes, I'm supposed to go to the enchantress to get a rock that will restore the pneuma, so like the magical energy of a girl who they say her soul is stunted. She can't magically sing like the rest of the fisher folk. So I'm gonna bring her this rock. Zan says the friendly magical rocks keep showing up in these games. Yep. Pearl says, I think the fisher said you needed 10 dragons for the stone. Yeah. Jabal says, I have a suggestion for a place we've not been. Go ahead. Yes, please. That would be welcome. Let's see. What else could I do? Only completed 2 quests. This game is too hard. I do have to go back to Gel Rocks to complete the matchmaking quest. But I'll have to go back there. I don't want to go back there unnecessarily. I don't want to do the complete hidden pouch until I have 10 gold to give the woman. Seems like the bandits are not a huge problem for anyone but Glaucius' band. Fallen tree. Jabal says, I think if you go to the most bottom left downward arrow, then we'll meet someone useful. Really? Okay. Let's do that. I leave the square. I travel. Most bottom left downward arrow. This one. The shapes of mountains are cutting through the horizon. The water gets gradually less muddy. The cleaner it gets, the more animals you see. A family of deer blocks the road, resting and enjoying the cold water, which would be deadly for a human stomach. You consider riding around them through the sparse meadow, but your presence also causes them disquiet. Without much haste, they regroup and run east into the leafy forest. I travel forward. Worry. Ooh. You've reached Hag Hills, the walls of stones that has blocked the city's grasp. The one well-established route through them leads through the valley where you found Tuvia's camp. There are no maps of the highlands, nor local tribes, only stories. The beaten path leads you by the garden beds of herbs and vegetables to an old yet not abandoned mine, hidden behind a massive door made of steel. I look around. There's no hitching rail for a mount. A bearded, skinny elder sits still on a bench, observing you like a sculpture, with his legs crossed and fingers interlocking on his abdomen. Okay, choosing our approach. Friendly. Good day to you. Don't worry about my horse. I'll keep it away from your garden. I like that. Playful. I look around. I think something has swallowed your wall, old man. Better move your veggies inside. Distance. I get off my horse respectfully. Intimidating. Without a word, I observe him from the saddle silently. Vulnerable. I get off my horse and with lowered head I approach him. I'm seeking your guidance, old man. That's quite nice. I'm feeling, surprising no one, friendly or vulnerable. Although distance didn't seem that bad. Especially because this person's, like, giving us nothing. Cross's fun fact, the word tribe originally derives from the Latin tribus, which referred primarily to a voting bloc. Oh, okay. Jabal says, I think vulnerable this time? I'm kind of feeling vulnerable. Let's do it. He moves aside and invites you to sit next to him. Come closer, traveller. I need you to look at me whilst you speak. His tone is gentle but strict, as of a teacher. I can hear you without magic. I'll read your lips. Your tongue tells me that you're near from here, but I'll listen to what bothers you. His face is wrinkled, but he sits straight, with beard and hair still carrying glimpses of fair blonde. He's tanned like a worker, and his eyes are blue and piercing, as if they belong to an infant. Strange. You rest on the planks, observing the peaceful garden and the few frogs resting on the shore. Oh, the stories of my ancestors may reveal to me who this man is. Click. You ponder about his unusual vigour and the unguarded garden. He may be a spiritual leader of a pagan community, most likely a spellcaster. Druids try to protect others from nature's wrath by teaching them to respect the laws of balance and restraint. Different tribes develop their own traditions, but you know that in this province such priests prefer to be addressed as forest speakers. Ooh, a forest speaker. I thank him for his kindness. What do you call him? Forest speaker. He lowers his head and closes his eyes. Oops. Microphone. He lowers his head and closes his eyes, taking slow, deep breaths, forcing you to wait in silence. The elder is tall, with long hair and a beard that was let loose a long time ago. His sandals are covered in dust, and you spot dirt on his clothes and skin. The woolen tunic and linen were made with care, decorated with colourful threads at the collar and sleeves. Now all the blues and greens have faded, and the fabric is held together by patches and stitches. He unfolds his hands and puts them on his lap, palms up. You know our customs, at least some of them. Those who know how to bow to the trees will never suffer from wild creatures. I wait for him to look at me. That's why there's no wall around his garden! Ooh! The man stands up and approaches your palfrey. Without touching it, he observes its eyes, mane, stomach, and rear. Shadowfax ignores this examination. My nose was right then. Asterion is dead, as are his plans. Such is the fate of all dreamers. Asterion was a dreamer? Asterion is not just a good-for-nothing? Interesting, interesting. What was his dream? He turns toward you with a grim look. Are you going to look for him? You nod. Why? If he's vanished into the fogs, there's no point in putting yourself in danger. What do you expect to find? Let's see. It's a job. There's a reward for finding him? No. He may need my help? Possibly. I need to know what kind of danger he encountered? Important. If he's dead, I want people to know about it? Important. If someone tried to make him disappear, they deserve to face justice? True. There's no reason why you need to know that. I think he may need my help. I think he may need my help. I'm going to click it. Teferax, hello! Oh, look at that little fox sipping juice. Very good emote. He may need my help. Do you believe that? That a man with no power over animals could disappear in the wilderness and survive for that long? He lets out a chilling laugh. I bow to your optimism. He doesn't actually bow. If what you say is honest, you and I could share our paths one day. Defending those who can help themselves is something that makes me whole. He takes a deep breath and smiles. You have some questions for me. A nice person! We found a nice person! Ooh! Calmly says, I hope it's not punitive justice. A lot of people have grudges against him. It's not impossible. I also hope that. I nod. His voice is warm. So, how can I help you? I bring news from old Pagos. Oh, I can just talk to you about, like, everything! Whoa! I bring news from old Pagos. A terrible plague has fallen upon it. His eyes widen. What did you say? A plague? You tell him everything you've heard about the symptoms. He attentively observes your lips and sometimes asks you to clarify some details, though you usually don't know how to answer him. He finally nods and turns away and approaches the garden beds, lost in his thoughts. You wait in silence. He speaks after a short break. There's nothing I can do. His words are trembling. I'm not going to tell him he's bad for not being able to cure a plague. Is there anything I can do? He strokes his beard and examines your equipment. There may be. You can help me cast a spell of great power, but it will take much. You would need dare, and you'd have to give up a grand reward. 'Tis a quest for a hero, nay a messenger, and there are nae heroes. It will take much, and I'd have to give up a grand reward? That sounds worth it to save an entire village from plague! You may be right. Tell me more and I'll decide what to do later on. That sounds sensible. Before you finish, he turns away from you and looks at the falling water. Then listen. Help me awaken Beholder. My tree! The good totem from the swamp. My zombie tree that I kissed! I just thumped on my desk, sorry. You've already passed its altar in the crossroads north from here. It needs to be fed, and it only feasts on spirits. The pneuma held in human blood, the magic locked in items. Offer them, and it will answer your call. But 'tis a hungry being, and it will ne'er be nurtured by a single gift. Who knows how much it wants? I can give it blood! Oh, okay. I've already given it a healing potion. Jabal, this was a great option. Ooh. He carries on without pausing. I paused. As if he's speaking from memory. But let it grow, and it will reward you. Take its holy seed, and bring it back to me. I'll enter the village, and through the totem's power, I'll replenish my strength and keep the pneuma before it leaves the lungs of humans. He stands in the same spot for a few breaths, then finally looks back at you. So I need to offer magic to the altar. What must we do next? When you deliver the seed to me, we'll leave, though we'll need time to get to Old Pagos and back. 'Tis a long road for a shell of my years, but the totem's gift will keep me strong. Tell me more about this seed. His voice becomes confident and solemn. Beholder bears but one fruit a year, and only if its hunger is satisfied. The heart of this fruit, its seed, holds a great power of youth, strength, and magic. Therefore, when the winter ends, the people of Howler's Dell gather at its feet and give away the pneuma held in their blood and possessions. 'Tis a sacrifice that would kill a single soul, but when shared by many, 'tis but a sign of acceptance, an act of overcoming pain. Do you have anything I could give to the altar? A spirit rock! Ooh! That's what the girl needs! I'm sorry, I just yelled. I'm very excited. His blue eyes are kind. He reaches into a pouch that was previously hanging from his neck. I can't say I trust you, but I want to believe you'll prove to be honest. Take this. As he reaches out, you see a flat bluish pebble lying on his open palm. You could go to any stream and find hundreds of rocks like this one. It is a gift I received a few years back. A rock filled with pneuma by Eudosha, the enchantress. Once put in one's mouth, it brings back the strength of one's exhausted pneuma, or kills you if you're near a spellcaster. Put it on the altar, and it will help you feed it. I gotta give it to the tree. He's trusted me, and it could cure the plague. I have to give it to the tree. The girl who can't sing to the fish is fine and doesn't know that there's anything wrong with her, because nothing is wrong with her. She's just different. And I can hopefully afford that rock myself. I gotta take this to the tree. I might cure a plague. I'm not gonna complain about being pushed into some dark magic. I'm all about doing the dark magic as long as it helps people. Just let me get into some necromancy. I'm ready. Ooh. Fine, I know everything I need. If you say so, traveller, if you say so. Let's talk about Phoebe, Photios' daughter. That's the one who needs the stone. He's still trying to get a spirit rock. After your nod, he closes his eyes slowly, allowing the gentle breeze to shake his beard. Asterion mentioned the man's anger and denial. There's pride in his efforts, but also pain, as he can't accept his daughter as the spirits have shaped her. He opens his eyes, leads you to the main path, and looks northwest at the very distant mountains. Beyond Old Pagos, you'll find the monastery, with its respectable monks and their haunted temple. Speak with them with nay anger, but also nay foolery. Maybe Photios will listen to the right's followers. Okay, so this druid elder, forest speaker, doesn't think a spirit rock is the right thing to do. I'll try the monastery in that case. I just trust all of the druids I meet in this game. Jabal says also, if Fish Girl is not a spellcaster, by this guy's logic, the spirit rock could kill her. It does seem like that. I was worried about that, but Photios was assuring us it would be fine. But Photios didn't necessarily seem to know, so... Have any hunters from creeks visited you recently? Here, in the opposite corner of the peninsula. Most people do not have a beast to carry them for miles, stranger. His playful tone suddenly gets worried. Or did their struggles with meat get so grim that they even considered such dangerous trips? He takes a deep breath and leans back. Can he force beasts to jump under one's blade? The forest would not trust me anymore. Okay. I want to know what happened to the village in the east, the cursed village. And I'm now willing to tell you that. He raises his chin and his beard shakes. That shameful tale ought to be kept in the past, for the sake of the living. Something really bad went down there. Oh my gosh. Tefrax's dark is such a judgmental adjective. Siburus's darkness isn't evil and never has been, it just exists. True. Lovely way to put it. Would you let me place a bronze rod? Eudosha the Enchantress has asked me to place these bronze rods in high spots across the peninsula. I should be done in about half an hour. He takes and observes the rod for a moment, then closes his eyes and bites it gently. When he returns it, he seems unconvinced. I sense a spirit in it, but I'm no one who can tell who's behind it. How can I be sure? Spirit? I could feed it to the tree? You explain what you know about the nature of the rods, but he changes the topic to Eudosha herself. Another minute passes by before he accepts that you indeed know her. Fine. I'll ask her for her story next time I see her. Go, but away from the spring. Don't break your neck. Even a child could get to the higher parts of such a rugged cliff that you have no reason to expect all the loose rocks to be cleared. I take off my armor and put away my weapons and bags. The bronze rod is attached to your back by a cord. As you place your feet and hands on the rock, you realize that you have to move slowly, maintaining your balance, pushing away small and large pebbles, making sure that the wall doesn't collapse under your feet. The rocks are coarse, supporting your grasp, and you rarely find a sharp spot. The climb resembles a nice summer walk, though your muscles are not prepared for such movements. You find the perfect spot, a small crack between two massive rocks. You use the rod to broaden it just a bit, then push it halfway in and fill the gaps with a rag. Doing it with one hand makes you dizzy, but not for long. Take a short break to catch a second breath. Climbing down is easier, though you struggle to recall exactly where you had previously placed your limbs. The warm sun eases your tension. After a few minutes, you land on the soft grass and dust off your hands. Once again, you prepare your equipment. The druid gives the shining rod a pouty look. I've placed my first rod! Yes, 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 yes. Calmly says, it's part of the reason I have a huge problem with the Force and its sides in Star Wars. It is perspective, not the Force itself, that makes people use it like they do. The best solution to people being evil in Star Wars is IMO therapists and helping people come to terms with their trauma. Very true. Jabal says, if I recall correctly, you can feed the rods to the beholder. It's possibly not a good idea, as Udini need Josha's money, and there are other things you can feed it instead. Yeah, I was going through that myself, and also I don't want Eudosha to be mad at me. But, I mean, maybe I could feed one. It'll depend on how many rods I can place. What can you tell me about the druids? He strokes his beard gently. The forest guides us, and we share its wisdom with the tribes. We and they ought to stay humble, take from the land what is needed instead of what's wanted, not because it's something we believe in, but because it protects us from the wrath of the herds. To stay safe, one needs to know how to be patient, take restraint into their hearts, and to make the beasts listen to us, we keep the animals healthy, teaching them to ne'er approach our homes and travellers. I'm so glad I chose the pagan background. I want to live in peace with the animals. I love this. I love everything about this. This is the best place I've ever been. Sounds reasonable. Okay. Can you tell me anything about the altar near the crossroads in the north? That's Beholder. He smiles. 'Tis the tree that you should pay attention to, the true gift from the forest. It answers to our offerings and rewards us with its magnificent fruits. They heal both shell and soul, and make anyone who eats them stronger than they ever were. We gather around this altar whenever the winter ends, and whilst it requires a painful sacrifice from all of us, it prepares one's soul for the future like nothing else could. It seems like the path at the heart of the woods is quite dangerous. It has a long and dark past and already caught many souls of its builders. It is paved with blood, and last 10 years have revealed it was all for nothing. Since the days of... He glances at you, once again surprising you with how shiny and lively the blueness of his eyes is. Of grand discord. The tribes of this land are locking themselves in their fields and houses, too afraid to leave them behind, too untrusting to meet other souls unguarded. 'Tis near the first road to be claimed back by the wilderness, and will nay be the last. You ask if he has any tips for you on how to survive such a trip, and he tells you that it would be wiser to just avoid it. He then reaches to his pocket, grabs a leaf and puts it in his mouth, chewing gently. Death may take many paths to a stranger, but cats are the one enemy that's both as dangerous in its stealth as in combat. No human can fight it alone. If you see one of them and it's nae too late, do nae provoke it, make it wary but nae scared. Look big, talk a lot, seek its action in its eyes. Okay, I'll ask about Asterion and then I'll get going, I guess. This is amazing. What can you... have you met Asterion? He obviously has. He wanders among the garden beds, from time to time touching the leaves at hand. He was here more than once. He was nae one to stand aside and let the events play out by themselves. The villagers from the north are sometimes in need of my assistance, and Asterion was serving them as a messenger. He bends down and tears away a small flowerless plant. He wanted to settle down among these roads, maybe to live freely. He had great plans and wanted to make this realm flourish, to rebuild the ruins, get rid of the brigands, and clear the trade route. Asterion was the same as me! Oh no! All of his mistakes are no different than my mistakes! Ah! I told him that the forest needs nae more people, and that this realm is too wild to feed and clothe everyone. His greed and dreams have eaten him, and now he is nae more. So you don't think clearing the roads is going to be ultimately helpful? And he thinks that he's dead. He pauses and you can hear his heavy breathing, as if he's getting tired. He straightens up. And that's that, traveller. If you want to look for his shell, travel north, far north. People there should know where he is. Far north? Gale Rocks? I'll do that. Alright, I'm gonna get traveling. I can take the spirit rock to Beholder and bring the seed back. If it's time for the seed yet, which it might not be. We don't know how much to give. You reach the crossroads. The tree is moving slowly, and some of the branches are now visibly longer. The smell of the water hasn't changed a bit, but the cold breeze brings refreshing air from the meadows. I approach the altar. The cream-coloured limestone is cold and smooth. The tree is moving slowly, and some of the branches are now visibly longer. I offer a magical item. A spirit rock. As soon as you lay it on the stone slab, the pebble hisses for less than a single breath, then shatters into dozens of tiny rocks, not much larger than grains of sand. The tree greets your offering with the sound of moving, stretching branches. I try something else. I'm going to give some blood. Blood. I think I've already tried this. How much? Ooh. I have full health. As much as I'm doing it. As much as I can before I faint. I'm doing it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to give it all the blood. Sam says, hi friends, can't stay long because of work, but wanted to just pop in and say hi. Hello! Oh, it's lovely to see you. I'm doing it. I'm gonna go all in. I'm going all in. I'm going all in. Ooh. Oh! Is that not fainting? I'm on the verge of death. Oh my gosh. I thought it would leave me one. Your blood spills on the altar and sinks into it before it gets to the edge. The tree greets your offering with the sound of moving, stretching branches. You try to ignore the pain and prepare water and bandages to take care of the wound. I approach the weird fruit that has suddenly appeared. Ooh! Zan says, feed me, Siwa. No, this tree is my friend. Okay. I approach the weird fruit that has suddenly appeared. We got the fruit! It appeared in just a couple of moments, transforming from a button-sized sphere into a large fruit. While its shape and size resemble an apple, it's also pale, entwining with whites and greys of bone. It's divided into a number of slices like an expensive toy made of marble. The tree is now larger, taller, but becomes silent once motionless, sated in its hunger. Your farewell gift is waiting for you. I spend an hour or so making the tools that will allow me to pick the fruit from where I am, or I undress and enter the water. I'll die. I have no health left. I'll spend an hour making the tools. I want to go in. I want to just go in to the water, but I feel like I might die. Should I just do it? What if I save? I'll just go in. I undress and enter the water. You take off your clothes and step into the warm, bubbling fluid, surrounded by the stench of dead shells. The water is shallow, but your feet don't land only on mud. With every step, you touch tree roots of various sizes, thicker than a spider web, covered with just a thin layer of dirt. This zombie tree! The bough begins to lower itself, greeting your presence. All it takes is a gentle pull. The fruit is hard like bone, smooth like polished granite, and just as cold. You look at the tree, but nothing else grabs your attention. You're wet, smelly, and the wind is almost painful. I return to my clothes, hide the fruit in a sack, rinse my shell with clean water, and get dressed. You don't see any creatures, nor humans. Wow. Alright, we did it. Thank you, Beholder. I'm going back to the Elder's Cave. I am not well. 2 ibexes, a male and a female, are lying on the rocky mountainside. A gentle wind is brushing their fur. The old druid is resting on the bench and welcomes you with a new interest in his voice. Words of the help you've shown to my neighbours from Howler's Dell have reached me, traveller. Good. Very good. I'm always ready to do the right thing. He vaguely grunts. Okay. I have the fruit. I have the fruit. He straightens up and takes the fruit gently, then carries it to the cave. When he returns, he bows his head to you. I'm astonished, traveller, I am. It must have taken a lot. Yeah, I mean, he's looking at me. I'm, like, bleeding out. I'm covered in zombie water. It must have taken a lot. You look terrible. It must have taken a lot, but we're almost done with it. Return to me once you're ready to take me to Old Pagos and back. But no later than the early afternoon. I may help us push away the wild animals, but I'll be too weak to protect us from the creatures of the night. We may need even 6 hours. Well, I can't take you now. I am almost dead. Oof. Can I rest? Okay, well, I'm not allowed to enter. That's fine. Why would allow a stranger to do such a thing? It's fair. I mean, I did just, like, almost kill myself. We're not naked. We put the clothes back on, but we are covered in zombie water. I mean, I am a stranger, but I am a stranger who almost killed myself trying to help, so... Jabal says you could save and try taking him now. Ooh, that's a good shout. Let's do it. Let's do it. We're taking risks right now. I'm ready to take you to Old Pagos. Without a word, he walks through the metal door and leaves you alone for a few moments. Once he returns, he holds a red staff and a linen bag, which he gives to you. I'm old. You'll carry it, he states matter-of-factly. He's changed into similar pants and a tunic, but their greens, blues, and reds are lively. You don't see any stitches or patches. Still, he looks like an old commandant, not a priest. As you lead Shadowfax down the path, there isn't much of an opportunity to speak with the old druid. He looks around, observes the plants and the sky, but hardly ever glances toward you, and never for long enough to have a chance to read your lips. Wow, this is so exciting. Zan says gross and nearly dead, but not naked. Yeah, not naked. Sam says always remember to take care of yourself before you try to take care of others, chat. You too deserve care. True, true, but we're doing this. Very good advice that we are not following. I follow him north. We made it? Oh, what is going to happen? I've put all my trust in this druid. The locals drop their tools and head to the road, observing your approach, anxiously, and bowing to the elder. The commotion spreads to the other side of the wall as the villagers call their friends and families to gather around. Behind the open gates, you're welcomed by a tunnel of onlookers. The druid raises his hand and waves to no one in particular. He moves forward silently, not interested in what he sees. Once you get to the fruit-bearing trees, you turn right. Crossing the bridge is not easy for an old man, but he doesn't ask anyone to hold him, instead putting his weight on the staff and taking slow steps forward. The welcoming committee awaits you on the islet. The druids are gathered on one side while a group of elders are on the other. So we're in Howler's Dell right now. We're on our way. Thais stands in your way, right before the second bridge. When you reach her, there's a long silence. I let them play out their games, I guess. The mayor welcomes the elder with a nod. We're honoured to see your arrival, Forest Speaker. I hope you do not want to leave us already. She puts her right hand on her chest and chillingly titters. There's no trace of her city accent. The elder's tone is both firm and polite. I'm near here. If there had been another path I could take, I would. He looks around, observing the nearby faces. I'm glad to see you in good health. This place does need me, and thanks to this stranger I can reach the people in great misfortune. Good day. The pale leader of the local druid steps forward. I haven't been able to meet this person! With fingers clenched around her staff. Beholder has been awoken. Our people have the right to its seed. You're robbing us of a fruit for which we've been waiting since spring. Her cadence is indistinguishable from your companions, and you notice their staffs have an identical length. I don't intervene. I've made the sacrifice. It belongs to me and I get to decide. Oh, they're gonna hate me. Should I not intervene? And, should I not intervene? Because if I don't intervene, then the blame doesn't go on me, and then I can keep helping Howlersdale. Or do I just take it? Oh, this is distressing. The right thing is to help the people with the plague, though. But I also feel like I don't really have the, skill to negotiate this situation. Oh. What do you think, chat? Should I not intervene? Or should I say I get to decide? Does it get taken from me if I don't intervene? If it gets taken from me, I will intervene. Sam says, I think the right thing to do here is to just turn into a dragon and fly away. People are spoopy. Okay, that's true, unfortunately. I'm already a dragon and I'm not allowed to fly away. Zan says, gosh, I'm not sure. It's hard. Ooh. We have a save. We could reload. I know I never reload. I don't intervene. Let's see what the druid says. The elder responds without looking in her direction. To think you would dare to claim our holy totem as your belonging. Your soul is marked with corruption. As he points at her with his staff, his hand is shaking. 'Twas the Roadwarden who awoke the swamp spirits through true sacrifices, something that your soft beds and colourful clothing have made you forget about. The man sounds like a disappointed teacher, and you realise he has heard the druidess voice without looking at her lips. You who believe you deserve the seed do not understand who you are, how lost you are. He moves his staff around, pointing at various faces. He wants to move forward, but the mayor puts her hands on her sides. In her eyes you see an unfamiliar glimpse of fear. You've already eaten the seed once, O speaker. Do not make us use force. I'm going to keep letting him control the situation. I think he's doing well. He knows what he's doing. A good minute passes before the elder speaks again. My wife welcomed you to this world, Dias. I myself voted to use the seed to heal your weak bones. I cannot believe you have fallen so far. Our journey illuminates, no doubt. You're but a brigand. Only you can hear his sigh. Enough of this. Be gone. He doesn't wait any longer. He steps forward and the mayor gets out of your way, observing the two of you with fear and fury. You cross the bridge, then open the gate. The man returns to silence, but his back is bowed, shoulders drooping. Ooh, we're almost there. Oh, this is working. Sam says, yes, it's my worst enemy in life, the disapproval and disappointment of a stranger. I know, this is tense. The man stops near the clearing and leans on his staff, contemplating the clearing silently. When I was but a brat, nay a bough was trimmed without a greater purpose. Nay only for humans, both for the trees and land. Pinching the spirits was a misdeed. He turns to you, observing your lips. I've heard tales of great sages, from before the days of the emperors, who restored such lands with a single spell, brought them back to life, helped us find forgiveness, the right path. And where are these sages now? Those are just stories. He glances at the dead trees, made up by those who dream of salvation, but do they know that they need to be saved from? Who think there's a balm that will cure a soul, the fate itself? He resumes his walk. I follow him. I think we did it. I've put so much trust in this man. The hills are bright and colourful. The tall grasses and flowers dance with the wind, unaware of the countless grasshoppers, butterflies, and mice that romp and prey among them. Dark green birds are circling above the walls and cliffs, arguing in tones unknown to humans. With every breath you take in the summer in its dusk, the drying ground and the promise of rainfalls, as well as the pinching smoke coming from the funeral pyre set in the centre of the village, cutting the horizon like a column weaved from shadows. As time goes on, the old man's walking pace slows down, observing the lands around you with great interest. His keen eyes stop on trees, bushes and flowers, though it's the crops on the plateau that make him stop for a bit. After a minute or two, he speaks. The plants want to fall. They need nay more than 2 rains. The farmers need to come out right after dawn. He doesn't look at your lips, just turns around and approaches the second ascent, once again slowing down to climb it without your help. I tether Shadowfax to the fence so it can graze on the meadow. Oh my gosh, things are happening! Am I actually going to help someone today? Ooh! Teferac says, please sir, you wouldn't happen to have any blood, would you? I'm all out of it myself. Absolutely. Jabal says, I would read this guy's gardening blog. Him and Thesis, the necromancer guardian. I think they could do a really good co-authorship. The man awaits at the gate and reaches out to you. You give him the bag that he gave you back at his shelter. You do not have to stay away, but it will near be pleasant, he sighs. I'll come out soon, and we'll leave this place right away. The village may be cured, but that does not mean that the plague is cleansed. We can still be infected. He raises his red staff and uses it to knock on the gate. You don't wait long for the dark-eyed woman to open the peephole. This time, there are not that many people around her. "Let me in," says the druid. The peephole closes right away. After a few loud minutes of moving the wooden bars, the gate opens slightly. You have a couple of moments to look around. The few buildings you notice are unlike anything you've seen in this province, made of materials that resemble the rock faces seen on this very hill, with tiled roofs and stone walls. The gate closes gently. I stay near the gate, or I walk away to have a better look. Am I supposed to stay here? I don't have to stay away. I'll have a better look. You return to your mount and put a hand on its side. It blows air from its nose, noticing your attention, but is way too focused on chewing to raise its head. The only sounds come from the grass, insects, birds. Suddenly you notice a beam of green light coming from the village, as well as a strong gust of wind that ends in complete silence. The druid staggers out through the gate, exhausted. I walk to him. When he sees your steps, he gestures for you to stop with a weak smile hidden in the corners of his eyes. He kneels and leans forward, breathing heavily. He opens his bag, pulling out the weird fruit that you gave him. With shaking hands, he detaches the first slice of its skin, but before you take a good look at it, it turns into a grey powder and slips through the man's fingers. The rest of the fruit follows its example, covering the soil with an ash-like dust. The thing that remains resembles yet another fruit, or a cherry-sized seed, levitating in the middle of a floral rib cage. The man observes it for a few breaths, then reaches for it with 2 fingers, squishing it softly, and puts it into his mouth. During the next minute, he gets up, grins at you, dusts off his knees, and takes a few steps forward, which turn into dance-like skipping. He then descends from the hill without a word. You hear the joyful calls of the villagers, their hysterical laughter and names screamed at the sky, welcoming those that have awoken after a long dream. I prepare my horse and follow the druid. Wow! We helped! Ah! Sam says it's a bit of a bloody problem. Teferax says, I think V's awfully sanguine. Oh my gosh. We helped someone! For the first hour, the elder swings his staff around like a conjurer in the marketplace and hums to himself like a drunkard. His walking pace remains stable. As time goes on, this frenzied state fades out. At first, he returns to using his staff, then gives you his bag. He looks down, hobbling, and finally asks you for help. I get him in the saddle. We did it! You help the man dismount, realizing how light he actually is. Holding your shoulder, he points at the bench near the spring. You help him sit down and place his staff and bag nearby. He's smiling, covered by sunbeams, stretching out his legs, leaning back to rest on the warm rocks. We've done a good job, he says quietly but clearly. Now all we can do is hope they'll stop cutting down the trees before the wild creatures push them into the sea. After a moment, he opens his eyes and looks at your lips. Thank you for your assistance. And I thank you. 'Tis one of those strange things that makes us different from so many creatures. We may not belong to a single pack, yet we've joined our strength, pursued the same goals. He looks at his small garden. Saved the lives of others just because we could. Our souls do make me wonder. He sighs. I want to get some sleep. If you need anything before you leave, now is the time. I deserve to know what happened to the ruined village. I do. Surely you trust me now. He lowers his head but keeps looking at your lips. And what do you think happened? Okay, here's our options of this cursed village. It was raided by humans. It was destroyed during the wrath of the herds. It was pillaged by humans, then destroyed by monsters. It was attacked by beasts, then finished off by humans. Humans used monsters to destroy it. I think it could have been the wrath of the herds because all of the animals seem to have escaped, right? It was destroyed during the wrath of the herds. I think nature came and busted it down. He frowns slightly. is not everything that happened. So it was attacked by beasts, then finished off by humans? He strokes his beard. You got it all wrong, stranger. Just tell me! It was pillaged by humans, then destroyed by monsters? He lowers his head. Yes, you see our shame. Okay. Well, we've learned the truth of that village. Oh, Sam, it was lovely to have you here. Thank you very much for your company and your humor. I hope you have a good rest of the day. Let's see. I've heard about some bandits. Were they bothering you? I want to find out the truth of these bandits. He strokes his beard, but then grasps it nervously. There are souls who steal from White Marshes, a village in the north. They wouldn't need dare show up here, but those brigands are brutes, simpletons. Either their leader, Glausha, listens only to force, and will humiliate for the enjoyment of her band. She will need be afraid of some lost Roadwarden. He lets go of his beard and lowers his head. She's drifted so far away from her old self. A kind, bright girl from Gale Rocks, loved by her parents. But now, do near cross her or she'll find you. Oh, really? Jabal says pillaged by humans doesn't answer the now important question of which humans? Very true. Probably, it's gotta be Glausha, right? Can you give me a job? I believe your goodwill, and I'm in need of your help. He gestures for you to follow him to the pond. 'Tis nay a dangerous task, but one that I cannae complete by myself. And my spells are nay enough to ask animals to fetch for me. He speaks very slowly. You've already talked to Photius from Gale Rocks. He's in my debt, and I want you to collect what's mine. You want to ask him about this debt, but he doesn't look at you. He points at a shiny, large fish with orange and golden scales that's swimming just nearby. This gorgeous creature is an empress carp, one of the few animals that thrive both in the seas and the lakes. I wait for him to look at me. You don't know where the man found the large worm that he now drops in the water, feeding his pet. Ask for a male empress carp, but beware. I need it alive so it can mate with the one I have. He stands up and approaches you. I do only sleep on dragon bones, but there's pneuma in my blood. I'll use some of it to heal your wounds, though ne'er more than once. That's fair. You would heal my wounds! I agree. I'm glad. The Empress carp we have keeps our waters clean of leeches, at least as much as it can. One more would help us greatly. Wow, okay. Let's see if we can get to Foggy... We can get to Foggy Lake and have a good sleep. Coral says, I'm back, what did I miss? We cured the plague! And now we have a job to get a fish for the druid, and the druid was really cool. And the villagers of Howler's Dell tried to prevent us from using the seed to stop the plague because they wanted it for their own fortune. Oh, it was wild. Yeah, the tree awakened. I had the option of how much blood to do. It was like prick your fingertip, cut yourself a little bit, cut yourself a lot, hurt yourself so badly that you almost faint, and that's what I did. Which is why my heart says now 0. I'm on the verge of death. It was really fun. It's the best sequence I've had yet here. I'm going to enter the tavern. I don't have enough vitality to brew a potion. I'm going to approach Foggy. I don't need to eat right now. I need to sleep. I bring news from old Pagos. They're not good. She gave me a bone. Listening to your tale, she rubs her forehead. Well, not what I was hoping to hear, love. But I'm glad you went there. Better warn the other settlements. Folks should know before they send their own messengers. It's going to be a rough few seasons for us all. She pulls out a dragon bone from her pocket and tosses it in your direction. Here. Good job. She steps toward the ajar door and looks at the lake. Okay. Want me to do anything else? She scratches the stump of her missing arm. Her powerful voice carries a hint of a threat. I need a soul who can handle a delicate task. And I'm not sure it's you, dear. Okay. Cool. I'm going to spend my rations to sleep here and recover a little bit. Ooh. Coral says that's such a V thing to do, but those people need help. I don't need that much blood. It was... I mean, I knew I needed to do a big sacrifice to get the fruit, so I just went all in. It was very fun and very exciting. You lose your senses right after you lie down. In the middle of the warm, stuffy night, you are entangled by your dreams. Too tired to fully wake up. Too accustomed to having a mid-sleep break to just get back to sleep. You are between the realms, surrounded by visions so vivid, you are tempted to reach out, touch them, and stretch them out. They are your playground. Once I realize I'm in my power, I do my best to enjoy myself. I fly, defeat dragons, eat and drink whenever I want. I wouldn't dare to disturb the natural flow of dreams. I accept them as they are, hoping to spot any visions they bring. No matter how much I try, my nightmares interfere with even the most joyful dreams. I wake up sweating, gasping for air. My life? I try to break free of this state, thinking of all the things I was meant to do tonight. When I wake up, I'm still not sure if I did anything at all. I think this character accepts the natural dreams. Okay. We're a little bit healed. I should eat some of my meals. Oh, wow. We've got 2 more meals. I need to go find somewhere I can wash. Is it time to do the foraging quest yet? 1 more day. Okay. I can wash at creeks. I need to go to the monastery before I go to Gale Rocks. I'm gonna travel to creeks and get washed. I approach the shallow creek. I jump into the stream. That's a little bit better. Can I tell anything to these people yet? Here we go. I've gone to Ella, the carpenter. He's trying to carve something on the surface of a wooden mug, but you don't recognize the shape. He waves to you with a chisel. Hi there, friend. I see you've taken a liking to our village. There are many things occurring at Old Pagos. The village was suffering from a plague, but I helped to clear it. It now isolates itself from outsiders. He freezes, puts away his tools, and looks at you with wide eyes. Slow down. A plague? You get into more detail, and he's unsure if he needs to gather the others, or just let you speak. As he asks about the well-being of the people of Old Pagos, his eyes are concerned, but the following relief sparks his wide grin, until you mention the part of the old druid. I wouldn't expect someone from Howlers to help another soul in need, he says, while his hand clenches the lower edge of his cloak. Not since they're ruled by a tyrant. But it's not the first time this forest speaker has protected the peninsula from a grave threat. He smiles at you. And so did you, I guess. I did. About the Eastern Path? Did you face any troubles? I've done a little bit. So, I cleared the statue south of Foggy's place. The big spider from the Hunter's Cabin is a threat. I can't do anything about the spider. I don't have a crossbow. I cleared the statue south of Foggy's place. That woman with a stick. Seeing your nods, he stops his work. What for? It increases the chances that animals will see her as a human shell and feel threatened by it. Sure, that sounds good. He snorts. What? You repeat yourself, but he gestures with his knife for you to stop. Don't be dumb, friend. Birds sit on it all the time, and I see no cats jumping on it. Beasts, he taps his nose, have other senses than we do. You may be right, but I don't think you're going to pray at it, so... I took a look at the dolmen in the south. It's safe. He keeps sculpting wood and asks you about the size and the entrance to the chapel. I've heard it's small, but not that small. Not enough for a group, but maybe a lone traveller without a mount. He looks at you with a smile. Pick a dragon bone from the case, will ya? I don't want you to stop now. You reach toward the ugly head of a hydra. I guess I grab a coin. Good to see you don't idle around, Roadwarden. Oh yeah, I encountered the fallen tree with the mystery of what happened that we were like doing all the things about. It was really good. Teferac says you've improved from verge of death to mostly wobbly. Isn't that great? I haven't seen the Last of Us show yet, Calmly Enveloped, I'm afraid. I encountered a fallen tree in the far south. You describe its exact location. I guess it was unavoidable for this to happen at one point or the other. Too bad it's so far from here. He stops his work and turns toward you. So, would you like to help us with that, friend? You ask him what he proposes and he describes what he calls a day of honest work. Just come to me someday in the early hours. I still need to discuss this with the tribe, but I'll ask the stronger folks to travel with you to the tree. They'll agree, if they feel like the roads can be trusted. Split it into blocks, get it on wagons, bring it here. It won't go to waste, and the road will be cleaned. Ooh! When you mention it's going to take an entire day, he agrees. And you'll get 5 dragon bones for it. Just come to me when you're healthy, and only if you already know what's on the route from here to that point. We'll put a lot of trust into your guidance and protection, Strider. Oh, we could clear the road, we could get 5 dragon bones, I can help the lady who needs the 10 dragon bones to escape. Ooh! Let's see. So you want me to get to know the entire route, make sure it's safe enough for your tribe to follow, and come here in just the morning, but only if I can handle the journey. Quite a list, but fine, we'll see. I'm not going to waste an entire day on a dangerous journey. No. I will waste an entire day on this journey. He thinks about your words and reaches for his case. You're right, that's a lot. I can't help you much, but at least you deserve 1 bone right away for bringing me the message. Maybe buy some rations for it, or a good rest. Actually, we also need at least 1 day to prepare ourselves. Thanks. I got so many new things! I need Vitality 2 to help with the tree. Oh, wow. Amazing. Inventory. How many? 7! I'm saving. We're doing so well. Oh-hoo-hoo. I'd like to place this rod somewhere high. I've helped you a bit, so maybe you'll let me do it. It belongs to Yadosha, the enchantress. He grabs the rod and looks at it with caution. I wouldn't call her our friend, exactly. You'd do better selling this. Swing it left and right like a club, he tells you to wait. It can't be just my decision. I'm going to ask the others, at least a few of them. You rest at a table and observe how the man approaches various souls and exchanges a few words with them. It takes him so long you manage to get bored enough to indulge a little girl who'd like to pet Shadowfax. Yes! Increasing the love of horses across the land. The man returns and gives you the rod back. Well, my tribe is far from convinced. He wipes the sweat off his forehead. We'd rather stay away from it. I'll have to try. I'll have to try again once I get him, I make them like me more. I'll see you later. What was I doing for Hava? Support Hamler's Dell. Are you at a matchmaking? No. Well, Hava's not on the list. No. Creeks. Okay, well, I don't know what I was doing for Hava. That's fine. It's the end of the stream! This has been amazing. Another incredible game of Roadwarden. I can't believe we've actually achieved something. We cured the plague of an entire village. This is the most exciting thing that has ever happened in this game, and I've been having a great time. Maybe if we also clear the skeletons, we could actually begin to, like, fix the world. Ooh, and next week, we will finish off our matchmaking quest with Shoshi. That's exciting. So, yeah. This is so good. Zan says this game is so much fun to sit back and enjoy. Yes! I absolutely love this game. I do recommend it. Calmly says thank you for the stream, Theo. It was lovely to have you here as well. Jabal says careful with that Asterian-like thinking. Well, we'll see. I guess I will now quit. All right, everyone. Thank you so, so much for being here. I hope you have a lovely rest of the week. And I'll be back on Friday with some Outer Wilds, which I actually am so eager to return to. So yeah, thank you so much. Goodbye, everyone.